When was the last time you sent a message to someone and it got completely misunderstood? Maybe you said something like, okay, cool, and the other person thought that you were mad. This is the world that we live in, where even a thumbs up emoji can feel passive aggressive, and a mixed text can cause a lot of arguments. Technology has made conversations faster and easier than ever, but it has also made it very shallow, more misunderstood, and also emotionally exhausting at times. So in today's video, we are going to talk about what we have gained, what we have lost, and how can we make technology work for our relationships and not against them. Hi everybody, my name is Urusha Silwal. I work as digital communication specialist in the US, and in this video I am going to share some tips for all of us to become better communicators with technology. Let's be real, technology has obviously made things way more easier and accessible for all of us. You can talk to your best friend who is like living in another part of the world in seconds. You can FaceTime your grandma, you can send your voice notes to your therapist and just experience each other's life in real time. As much as tech connects us, it also disconnects us from all these emotional nuances. Have you ever texted someone by saying like, I'm fine, but you were not fine? You are not alone. Everybody goes through that. Emojis, tone, and timing create this layer that often gets misunderstood. There is a 2023 study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, which found out that people are significantly worse at detecting hurt, humor, and sarcasm when they are texting versus in person. And think about this. Ghosting has become totally normal. Conflicts get screenshot and get sent to third parties. Breakups happen over DMs all the time. Although we're more reachable than ever, but we have become less reachable emotionally. So I can give you another example. So one of my friends texted his other friend and said, hey, I've been feeling a lot distant with you recently. Can we talk? And the other friend replied by saying, all good, and a thumbs up emoji, and that created 3 weeks of confusion. And all of that was because tone obviously does not get translated well through text. Digital communication gives us efficiency but often takes away emotional clarity. We sometimes sacrifice depth for speed, and we think that we're staying close to our friends by liking, commenting, and reacting on their posts, but it might not be the case. Are we really checking in on them, right? So how can we fix this? How can we make our communication more clear, more kinder, and more humane, even through a screen? So let's get started. Choose the right medium for the message. So if you want to send a quick update, send a message. If you are feeling emotional, send a voice note or call them. But if there is an argument or misunderstanding, do not start that argument over DMs. Instead, FaceTime that person, video call that person, or meet them in person. I am so confident that sometimes all the nuances and the emotions get lost through screens and through text messages, so always meet them in person if there is ever a misunderstanding. Do not assume tone. Ask for clarification. So for example, if someone sends you something that is hurtful, or like before making an assumption, ask for clarification by saying like, hey, just wanted to check in. Did that message come across okay? Like, can we clarify before we move on? You know, when you do that, it shows that you have that intention to understand things clearly before assuming any negative thing about other person or the message that was conveyed. It will definitely help you instead of going into all the spiraling of negative emotions and like thinking about ghosting the other person just because of something what other person has said. So, you know, sometimes a quick one line can make a lot of difference. Pause before responding. If you're ever feeling triggered or disrespected or hurt while texting the other person, pause for at least 5 minutes. I know it's the hardest thing to do. What I've done in the past, and it has worked, is that I just put my phone down for like 5 minutes. I go to another room for change of scenery. I do something else. I watch TV for a little bit or like drink water, and I come back to it. after 5 minutes, because just delaying your response sometimes makes it more clear, and a calm message is always more clearer than a reactive one. Use I statements and not assumptions. People often text each other by saying like, oh, you never reply, you never call me, you never do this, you never do that. Instead of that, just flip and take ownership even when you're feeling a certain way. So instead of saying you never reply, you can say, I feel disconnected when I don't hear back from you. I feel sad when I don't see your calls. And it goes to show that you're not putting the blame on the other person, but instead you are just conveying what you're really feeling and your real emotions. Reread your messages before you hit send. So what happens is sometimes when we are trying to text or respond to people in a flight or fight respond, we're just so quick to react, right? And we don't even read what we've written. We write like paragraphs and paragraphs of messages which are full of like passive aggressiveness and sarcasm and whatnot. So sometimes just rereading what you've written gives you that clarity of like, oh, okay, is this really something that I was trying to convey? Or like, what is the tone of the message sounding like? Create real-time check-ins. Do not use technology to replace real conversations. Sometimes when we are far away from our family and friends, we think that, oh, we can call them on their birthdays, we can FaceTime them, we can send them a birthday text, but I feel that nothing will be more heart-touching than you sending them a birthday video, or like you recording something for them, or like you doing something that shows that you have put in some effort for them. It's something that they can download and save it to their phones, and then they get reminded that I sent that video to them, and it's more special that way. So think of like, how can you use technology to deepen the relationship that you already have, rather than just taking it for granted and just like doing it for the sake of it. Be honest when text isn't working. So what happens is sometimes when we're texting, we can sense like, oh, okay, if I text this person for 2 or 3 more times, then we might start an argument, or like, I'm not understanding what this person is trying to say, even in work settings or with your friends. So in those moments, what you can do is you can say, hey, this conversation is getting tangled. Mind if we hop on a call, or mind if we meet in person to clarify this? That way it shows that, you are wanting to have a good conversation and you don't want to be misunderstood, and you put value in the relationship that you have with this person, rather than just like continuing this spiraling of whatever emotions that you're going through over screen, right? So I think it's very important to be honest. So in conclusion, we have to understand that technology is just a tool. It can either build bridges or create walls. If we want to build deep and meaningful relationships with our friends, family, and co-workers, then we should be up for awkwardness. We should be up for real eye contact. We should be up for seeing their emotions and reactions and feeling their tone of the voice in real time. Meaningful conversations don't happen by accident. They happen when we are focused, we give our attention, and when our intention is clear. And let's not make technology a way to replace real conversations, rather a way to make real conversations and real relationships more fulfilling and meaningful. So before I wrap up, I want to share what people are writing about this topic on Reddit, and I just found some really interesting comments that I want to share with you. If you're struggling in your relationship, I recommend not texting at all. Too much is lost, too easy to read it wrong, easier to anger when you can't see voice or face. Some of y'all got attachment issues too, need to tone those texts way back. Especially, just like I said, if you're struggling in your relationship and if you need some fixing, or if you want to make things better, then nothing comes close to being with that person or talking to them in person. Another one says, I was dating someone that only communicated through text and never wanted to have in-person conversations. Now that's really weird. That created a terrible dynamic because they would also block me when they didn't want to talk. It was absolute trash behavior. I am glad I'm done with it. The fact that they would block you when they didn't want to talk seems like not just one issue, but a lot of issues that the person might be going through. And it's definitely problematic, and I'm glad that you are done with it. But never believe a person, especially the one that you're dating, who only wants to talk to you through text and never want to meet in person. That's a red flag. Another one says, communicating through text can be helpful when someone tries to twist your words or claim that they did or didn't say something. That way you can go back and see definite proof of the truth rather than the narrative that they want to paint. Oh my God. I think I totally forgot to emphasize this point earlier, that like sometimes in work settings, or let's say when you are talking to your landlord or your leasing office, and when you're going through some issues, it's super helpful to communicate through text or to save any recordings of phone calls, because you need proof when you need them to do something for you. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because sometimes people can try to twist your words or claim that they said or didn't say anything, and there's no way for people to know whether they said it or not if you don't capture proof. So all these Reddit comments were helpful, and we will continue this segment in other videos as well if you really like it. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to check out my other videos, I'm gonna put the link over here. So yes, watch my video, and until next video, I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.